BYD Seal officially arrived in Australia at the shipping port in Brisbane for December deliveries. So it seems as though you will likely receive your December delivery if you were told it would be December, due to the fact that I found them in a port in the port of Brisbane. Thank you to a subscriber that emailed me. So we actually met up yesterday and had a coffee in the city. And what a lovely guy you turned out to be, Bernie. So thank you for the heads up on the cars at the port. So here's the picture of them sitting there ready to be washed and registered for the new owners. So not sure how long it takes to get them registered and delivered to you, but I reckon 2 or 3 weeks should be, I guess, sufficient. I don't know. So I'm a bit envious because I did really consider, buying one. BYD have said that they had over 1,000 orders within the first 2 weeks, and they aim to have 500 of them delivered in Australia by the end of this year, so in the next month and a bit. It doesn't seem that they were fibbing. So generally what I've seen is with BYD, if they say something, then their integrity is pretty good. There's a much higher chance of that being true than with a lot of other companies. And I think people are clicking onto this because I'm a member of some of the Facebook groups, and I think I'm sort of seeing that being echoed in there. So as a side note, I will be going to the Tesla event in Brisbane on the 25th of November. So if you're there, feel free to say hello. Not sure if it's going to be a big event. I've got very little details actually, but it is an opportunity to see the newest design in person. So it'll be nice to just see how different it is and see how it fits and, with the ergonomic design of it. So some basic things about the BYD Seal, if you didn't know. Nobody really knows at this point if the rebate is still available if you buy one in Queensland. Literally nobody seems to know. I think they have got to be running out of money anytime now. That just makes sense to me. The cheapest one still comes with a 61.4 kilowatt hour battery, so it will be, it will have a decent range, and you should have a good power. 150 kilowatts, 201 horsepower. It's a great price for just over 50 grand in Queensland, and you might get the grant, the rebate back. If you do, I'm happy, but I'm not sure. As soon as any of you that have ordered one get it delivered, let me know in the comments. I'm really keen to know when deliveries are actually starting, but I really do reckon in the next couple of weeks. I guess that most of you like me would agree that the extra 12 grand, the extra $12,000 that you could have spent on the Model 3 can now be spent on tyres and charging. That's a lot of money. $12,000 is a huge amount of money. So that's even enough money to drive the car for a few 100,000 kilometers if you just pay for the energy at the regular day rate. That's the difference in, that's what 12 grand would get you. So I really love the Model 3, and I think that the ergonomics are one of the best things about driving the Model 3. It kind of feels almost nimble, and you feel plugged into it. It's a really big deal, So everyone seems to agree. But the BYD Seal is actually not so far off, I don't think. And I prefer the look and feel of the BYD to the Tesla. I just wonder how well it will do in the next year compared to Tesla. So you could always consider an MG4 to save even more money if you're a bit unsure. I personally don't think it's worth spending all the extra money on the BYD Seal if you are kind of on the edge of getting an MG4, because it's it's fast enough, drives good, and you feel really plugged into it. Really lovely, beautifully well made, and also the range is pretty good, I think, too. And that's $10,000 less. Sure, some of the specs aren't very competitive. If you just got the 51 kilowatt hour version of the MG4, for example, but you could get the slightly bigger one with a 60 something kilowatt hour battery and pay a little bit more. And I think it's definitely something to consider, but you'll still get a stunning car. And if you got the cheapest MG4, it's about 41,500 Aussie dollars in Queensland at the door. And then there is the chance of a rebate. Sadly, you can't contract that in or lock it in. Like I've said before, they put $45 million in a pot in Queensland. that technically would only last 7 or 8,000 vehicles, and we sold more than that in the first 6 months of this year. So I'll have to look into how many of the EV sales in Queensland are through novated lease, and try and get some credible data on that, because I've found very little and it's quite hard to get. But the incentives for getting a BYD seal through novated lease are really good, and I think all the benefits add up to something like $40,000 or $45,000, and you don't pay things like GST, which is 10%. So it's something like that. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, like I said, feel free to comment and use the comment section underneath the video to voice your opinion. Everyone likes to read the comments, not just me, but I read all of the comments on every video, so thank you very much for watching, and have a really nice, fantastic day wherever you are.